They're going to join us in a minute now. Yeah, if you have any questions, of course, be a part of the conversation. Post, show their love. And right now, I'm going to get Jonathan to join me. Yo,
Hello.
what's up? What's up?
Hi there.
Hey, Jennifer. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Oh, that's nice. What do you have behind of you?
That is our Jsquared sign that we made.
That's a serious sign.
It's
Can I see it?
yeah, so
Okay.
as you can
Oh,
see,
that's
we actually made this when we debuted our first routine.
nice.
When we officially debuted Jsquared as an official couple,
As a
as an
company.
official, team, we made a social, we did a social. We hosted a social here in New York City on January 27, 2016. And we wanted to 17. So we wanted to hold we wanted our social to have some sort of a different vibe. So we thought, why don't we make a sign that has our name on it, and we built it from scratch. We got wood and we cut it, and then we got like metal and we put it around it, and then you see the lights light up.
Were you a part of the process, or it's all Jennifer?
Oh, it was
It
all
was all my muscle.
it was all
me.
Jennifer.
Yeah, so that's why I wanted to get you out of the picture and ask her to make me a sign like that. But anyway, that's for a different conversation. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for
I have
having
so
us.
much to say about you and what you do, but really quick, for the very few people that don't know you, if you don't mind, share your name, who you are, what you do, and let's get going.
Go for it, Jennifer. You first. Ladies first.
Hello. So I'm Jennifer, and we're together with Jonathan. We make hashtag Jsquared. As you can see, our sign, which is in our actual bedroom.
We're reporting to you live from our Jsquared house.
Yeah. And we started, as Jonathan said, in 2017, and we teach bachata and salsa all over. Yeah. You want to say a little bit more, Jonathan?
So we both are.
Yeah.
I come from Miami. I was born and raised in Miami. Jennifer is from Queens, New York, and we met here in New York about 7 years ago. Shortly after I moved to New York City, and when I was first introduced to bachata, she had her own team at the time, named Pura Vida, and I joined the team as wanting to learn more about bachata, since it became like a new thing for me, and it was something that had caught my attention. And after that, we both did our own things. We always stayed in touch, and one thing eventually led to another, and here we are dancing together, and it's been a very fun journey so far, and yeah, we're excited.
Jennifer, is it fun? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, what, living with him or dancing with him?
I guess both.
I can totally give you the insider when I see you, Moshe, about what's been media and Jonathan Godinez is real. No, but
Okay. How long you been dancing?
actually,
Both of
they're
you?
both been wonderful. I think in my experience, I directed a team. I've worked with different partners, and I think being able to share this experience of teaching and dancing all over with especially your significant other, it just makes it like so much more meaningful. Jsquared, the term of like being united with your dance partner and also your life partner.
Nice. How long you been dancing?
I've been dancing for now, I think, since now it's almost going to be almost 8 years. And I started
8 years. And you,
I
John?
I started dancing in Miami, salsa casino. So Cuban style salsa is what I was learning in Miami when I was like 15. So I was dancing about 10 years in Miami salsa casino, and then I moved to New York, and it's been now almost like 17 years, something like that. It sounds like a lot, I know, and it makes me sound old.
Yeah, you sound old. Exactly.
But I mean, well, I took dancing very seriously, and I started to really train when I moved to New York. Before, it was kind of like for
Cool.
fun.
So two different subjects that I want to go over with you guys, and then we're going to take questions. I mean,
there's a lot already.
So many friends of yours
Oh my God.
are giving you a lot of shout outs, and my favorite couple from New York, and Brian loves you guys, and shout out from Steve. First, I don't know where I want to start because both of them are really good. But the first one, how do you find working and personal relationship being mixed together? Because obviously you're together, yet at the same time you perform and teach. Is it better, worse than having a partner that is not also your life partner?
Am I going first?
It's up to you.
Okay, so I definitely think that there's pros and cons for sure. Starting with the pros, I think that I definitely couldn't ask for more when it comes to traveling with somebody that you dance with. You know, I've been in relationships before where you have somebody that doesn't dance, and they want to support you and they want to be there for you with the dancing, but you travel so much, you never see them. It starts to get like confusing as to what your purposes are, what your goals in life are, because you're going in two different directions. One's doing one thing, one's doing the other. Where here we both have the same goals. We both have you know, a 2-year plan, at least like a nearby 2-year plan of what we want to accomplish in the next 2 years as dancers and as a relationship. You know we want to save up for a home. We want to know that we want to move somewhere someday, and part of that is, okay, how are we going to grow as dancers to accomplish that besides what we do as full-time not dancers. So having the same goals is definitely a huge benefit. But there's also cons, you know, where there's times where we don't want to practice because we're gonna kill each other in rehearsal sometimes. And then you say, well, you know what, it's too cold outside in New York. Let's stay home and cuddle and watch Netflix instead. You know, and it doesn't help because we should be working, and we do practice, we do work hard, we're constantly training, but there's times where we don't go practice because, you know what, we want to be home and love each other, you know. So it's hard sometimes when it comes to things like that.
In a PG-rated format.
In a PG-rated format.
So not Netflix and chill.
No,
you do
not
Netflix and spin.
Yeah.
And spin,
no,
yeah, right?
Like, stay home and cook a meal together.
Yeah, so but in general, it's a really great thing that we have going. We're both really happy and privileged to be able to do what we love together. You know, it's not everybody.
Jennifer, what's your take?
So in my experience, because I've been in partnerships where my dance partner became my ex-boyfriend, and then working together through a breakup and things like that. And then working with Jonathan, I think what I've learned personally is that no matter whether you're in love or you're in a romantic relationship or you're not with your dance partner, you have to have a level of respect for each other. And communication is key, right? So like Jonathan said, you have to share your goals even as non-romantic dance partners, and see if your partnership is growing together, whether your personal goals are separate or going, you know, you have your boyfriend and he has his boyfriend. You have to stay maintained on the same path, communicate about your path, and then still respect each other. Like, check your ego at the door kind of thing. Just because, you know, one has more followers than the other, it doesn't matter. It's still a dance partnership and you're working together towards the same goal.
Yeah.
And that's what sometimes gets tricky, because when you're not in a romantic relationship, sometimes your selfish viewpoints get lost, and then that's how, you know, Justin Timberlake will leave in sync kind of like mentality. And you gotta remember why you started, and keep yourself in check with one another.
Exactly. Yeah.
So romance.
And how do you separate? Go ahead.
So romance, like, a lot of people think also, oh, you know, they're so awesome on stage because they're like real life couples, and it's not. It's just you build a connection with someone, whether it's romantic or not, and you could still have a strong stage presence.
So how do you separate when you go to practice and you're getting very serious about your show, and it shows, to put aside, you know, personal feelings and, you know, communication, and go to work?
Yeah. We usually, what we've learned because it's been a growing pains. It's been something that it's definitely been a challenge, because in the beginning it was very, focused on, hey, we're coming here, we're gonna do this routine, we're gonna practice, blah blah blah, and then eventually, as the relationship grew and we started to understand each other and get to know each other, it started to become like, hey, but why do you have to talk to me like that? Why does it have to be like this? Why can't we just, talk to each other like we love each other? And it's like, well, no. So what we've eventually learned is that when you go into rehearsal, our relationship kind of has to, leave, it has to stay at the door, because coming into the rehearsal zone, our mentality changes. It becomes, okay, we have to focus on this show and what we're trying to accomplish and this part. And yes, we're doing tricks, and tricks is a challenge. And it can't be like, oh, baby, I love you, don't worry, we got this, even though that is part of the process. But at the same time, if we get into that mode of relationship status, it changes our whole method of how we practice. And that's the way it used to be. It used to be, oh, but I love you, don't worry, you got this. Oh, but I love you this, and no, it's okay. And then we don't get anything accomplished. It became, okay, we have to leave our relationship at the door, so that when we go to practice, we focus as partners, as dance partners, and our goals. So
that's how you win first place, right?
Yeah.
And then it's the same mentality of like checking your ego at the door, and checking that like selfishness that we all have inside of us is like, okay, but what about my needs? It's like when you enter rehearsal space, okay, it's the needs of Jsquared, and Jsquared requires me to get it together right now, and then just do it 5 times and then run it through, and then we can talk about it. But it's not where like, oh, well, your tone was like a little too aggressive for me. Like, what was that about? It's none of that. It's more like, we respect each other, but we're here to work.
Yeah.
Jennifer, when you said before, communication is the key. This is an overused statement. But like, to really go in detail, what does it take communication-wise to succeed in this area?
I'm so happy you said that. So what I mean by communication is key is that you have to, there's so many other components. You have to be really aware of yourself. Like from my personal experience, I used to leave a lot of things unsaid, and then you let the little things build up, and then it just becomes this huge fight versus really
she's talking about herself.
So, and then you have to really identify for yourself, what are triggers for you? Like, what are things that are like deal breakers? Like, for me, it's tone. Like, as long as everyone in the whole wide world speaks to one another in a respectful tone, we can get anything accomplished. But if people come with egos or like really aggressive tones, then you're opening the door for misinterpretation and like an aggressive comeback. So once I hear, like for Jonathan, if Jonathan's tone in practice or even in our home is a little overly aggressive for me, I communicate that to me, because if I let that build up, then it's gonna be like one of those big blowouts.
Yeah. And we don't want that to happen.
Besides other things, like for some people, it's like, oh, like you didn't do it, you didn't step that, and maybe like that's a trigger. Like you have to really know for yourself, what are your deal breakers in rehearsal, and that way you can communicate together and accomplish goals.
Yeah.
And
well, like being honest,
this is great for so much more than just dancing and performing together.
Yeah,
it's like a relationship 101.
Yeah, and that's what I mean by communication, even in non-romantic relationships, because you have to understand how your partner works. Like for your partner, if they're overly sensitive, you have to cater to that. It's not because you're a boyfriend and girlfriend. It's because you have respect for that person, want to work with that person, and you're adjusting to how they are, and to accomplish together that ultimate goal that you have for yourself.
And I'm pretty sure that everything she just said should and can be it could be for anybody that's even not in a relationship when it comes to dancing with partners. So I'm pretty sure that even some of the best couples out there, some of the best known couples, sometimes you see and they break up and they're not together anymore. And I probably had to do with communication. It probably had to do with attitude. It probably had to do with ego. And some of the best couples out there that you love to see perform together, now they're performing with somebody else, and eventually you get over it, but it could have been avoided if you just communicated,
Another example that I like to use is the whole walking away. When people get angry, some people like to talk about it, and other people like to walk away and cool off. Like, like, let's say, for example, Jonathan used to be the one that, oh, let's talk about it, let's resolve this, like, let's just move on. But I'm the kind of person that needs like 1 or 2 minutes to just gather my own feelings, my own thoughts, and then come back into the situation and level-headedly and have that conversation of like, okay, how can we move past this?
Yeah.
But if you're not aware of your partner, you're bound for failure because you're just thinking about yourself and not as a collective.
This became a therapy session, Moshe.
I'm so sorry.
No. It's actually great. Now I know, you know, when you piss me off, Jennifer, I just walk away.
Yeah,
but
if you see me walking away by myself, you know it's Jonathan's fault.
Uh-oh, yeah. Speaking of communication, me and Jonathan just had our communication session and we talked about videography and ADC.
Yeah.
And that brings me to the other question or subject that I wanted to cover with you, because this one is a really good one, because we just talked about something so interesting like what we just talked about, but also I want to talk about how do you mix two of your profession / hobbies at once? So many dancers are great dancers and also videographers or photographers, but they also have a career. They also do other things on the side. And you manage to be successful traveling the world, performing, and become one of the premier bachata couple, you know, in our scene. Yet at the same time, you're one of the premier videographer that I know, and you do so much with your company, Spin Media. How do you mix both?
Yeah, that was also, well, first of all, thank you for your kind words. It like means a lot, especially coming from you. Part of who I am today is because of you. So, and I've shared that with you several times. So I thank you. But I've always been a photographer, videographer. I look at Barak, and Spin Media is the best. Thank you, Barak. I graduated from film school in 2007 with a bachelor's in film and digital production. In high school, I was taking photography classes. In middle school, I was taking classes. It's always been a passion of mine, and eventually it became my work. So back in Miami, I used to work for Telemundo. I used to do freelance jobs for NBC, and I used to do commercials, and eventually I got jobs for Red Bull, and then it led to jobs for Fox Sports, and I've always been in TV and production and video. And then when I moved to New York, my goal was to do more of that and grow with video and photography. So I got hired, and I did work for National Geographic photographers, and I did a lot of really great things for like label companies, vodka companies, production companies, NBC, and it just led to only doing video in New York, and that was great, you know. And then I got into the dance scene, and I started taking dance more seriously when I moved to New York, and it really irked me, and it really bothered me to see videos of dancers be such, sorry to say, they just really bad quality. You watch videos of congresses, recaps, and they just don't know what they're doing in a sense. You know, they just take video, they just put it together, and they put music, and all of a sudden, this Congress, the name of the Congress and the dates. And I'm like, where's the effort and the love in the video? Like, why is the dance scene have such bad quality Congress videos and recaps, you know? And it was just because I like that realm, you know, and I love dance, so it deserves better than that. And I love movies, so, and I'm a storyteller, you know, so I just wanted to, when I started to see that, I felt like, you know what, let me attack that, and it became something I wanted to mix together. And how it happened was literally with Jsquared. Our first Jsquared video, if you've never seen it, we were dancing in Washington Square Park, and we ended up dancing in a fountain, and that video kind of took off for both of us. And I was like, you know what? That's because I mixed great, well, in our opinion, great dancing and great video work, and we put it together and we told a story, and that shows that dancers can have good quality videos too. And I'm like, you know what? That's it. Like, I want to start doing congresses and do their recap videos, dance there, and start to put them two together. And you know, why not? And it's worked so far. And
that video was great, and thank you for you know, your kind words when I asked this question about, you know, me saying what I said, but I just said the truth. Anyone who wants to watch your work from 2016 with the video that we posted, or your Bruno Mars video from last year, or your Thriller from 2 years ago. You just killed it back to back to back, and you're really good at what you do. And what I want to, you know, I think a lot of people can relate to that, because I meet a lot of dancers that they want to own a dance studio, but they also want to perform and travel around the world, or they want to be a photographer, but they want to do that. They have a profession and they love to be an attorney, but they want to dance.
Yeah.
Like, how do you specifically mix your personal career with Jsquared and be successful at both? Because it's easy to do both and not be successful at one, but yet I see you everywhere doing both.
Yeah, I think what ended up happening is that as I started doing Congress videos and I started to do other things that were not dance related, I became, oh, so you dance and do video, right? So up until this day, what ended up happening is that somebody would say, hey, we're interested in hiring you for Jsquared. And I'm like, okay, cool. That's great. You know, what do you want? What are you looking for? And then it becomes, well, so just so you know, I also offer this completely separate from Jsquared. I also offer spin media, and I can offer.
And does it take anything away from practice and being serious as a dancer?
No.
We operate on two different time schedules, actually.
Yeah.
Jonathan is a night person and I'm a morning person.
Yeah.
So
so John doesn't sleep.
Yeah.
No, he sleeps during the day.
I sleep during the day, but usually, like, if we have rehearsal, then I'll wake up at noon or 1. But for example, last night I was editing the World Salsa Summit video, and putting the finishing touches, and I worked until about 6 in the morning. And I woke up today like at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And
so what would be your tip for those dancers that want to own a dance studio and perform, or want to be a photographer and perform, or, you know, do two things at once?
So personally, because I've directed a team, and I tried to travel while I directed a team, I'm going to be really honest, that's a reason why a lot of folks come up to us to Jsquared to start a New York team, and we say no. I think that when you're trying to be like 40 weekends, 50 weekends out of the year as a traveling artist, where you're leaving on a Thursday, coming back on a Monday, and then having practice on a Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm not saying that it can't be done. I'm not saying that at all, because I think
clearly it can be done.
Harold and Regan can be done, but sometimes I think you lose focus, right? Either you're focused on bettering yourself.
That's exactly the point of the question.
Or you're bettering yourself to become the director for your students.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you travel, like for me and Jonathan, we left the 28th of December and we didn't come back until January 22nd. And that would have been 3 weeks of missed rehearsals if we had a team in New York.
Yeah.
So you have to really understand and really be clear on what your goals are. Communicate that to your students, whether it's a competitive team, an amateur team, like, or a semi-pro team. You just have to be really realistic on what your goals are and set your expectations for your students.
Yeah, one of the things that Jennifer has taught me, and it has worked, was just write things down. Write things down. I usually, when I get great ideas, or there's something I want to do or something I want to accomplish, I write it down, because if not, I'm going to forget, because I got 1,000 things going on in my head. And I know that we want to accomplish the next Jsquared video in the next month, which we're doing this weekend.
I mean, writing down and setting up goals is very important, 100%.
Yes,
but
sure.
At the end of the day, there is also a practicality point.
Yes.
Of, you know, I can write down I want to be the best videographer and the best dancers.
True.
I mean, unless I put the work and find the time and do all the communications that you guys talked about, and don't sleep or sleep during the day, and find the balance between
For sure.
And you also try to run a relationship, which is also a side job by itself.
Yeah.
So kudos for you guys, and I think a lot of people should take notes here. Jennifer, is it true that behind every successful man there is a woman?
I think so. Well, I think a successful partnership requires determined two parties. I don't think that the man, like the woman, is behind the man and the man is behind.
No, not in that sense. But you support his videos quite a bit.
I think there's a balance. Like for me, I don't know
100%.
if whoever believes in horoscopes. I'm a total believer in horoscopes. I'm a Virgo. Jonathan is an Aries. He's all about creative passion, and creativeness, and he's really, really passionate. I'm super organized and really critical And I think we have a balance with each other. Like Jonathan will just create, and then he'll show me something, and I'm like, well, you missed this, and like little things, right? That
Do you really think it's all about like the date of birth?
I mean, for me, I've read our charts, and they're
It's
not
always
off.
positive things, of course.
Yeah.
You read it.
They're not off.
Hard worker, loving. Oh yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Bingo.
No. Because if in Aries would have,
I'm like neutral in this conversation.
if Aries
Me
had the
too. I'm
trait
just
of
like
organized, I don't know if I would like believe that, because Jonathan.
I don't know if I was born on Jonathan's birthday. I don't know if I would have put videos and dancing like him. And if he
No, it
was
doesn't.
born,
It doesn't have
I
to
don't know,
be. It doesn't have to be videos. It's just your creative mind, whether
Yeah.
in any artistry.
creative mind.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So, what's your birthday?
September
What
8th.
month? No year.
September 8th,
December
and
8th?
I'm March 31st.
September. Okay, another March boy. Me too. Cool. So, awesome. Really good advice. Because again, every time we do this dance is my business, and people talk about trying to accomplish 2, 3, 4 things. It's just like you said before, they lose focus,
Yeah.
and something gotta give,
I-
something get hurt.
Well, to add to your point, you have to add deadlines, because,
Yep.
like you said,
Deadlines are important.
anyone can write anything down, but if you don't give yourself a deadline, then you're not holding
Yeah.
yourself accountable.
And I also want to say one more thing about just for the dancers that are watching, if just put more effort into what quality of work that you're putting out there. I think that it's for me, that has like a visual. I really care about what I'm looking at, and visually it's important when you put effort to what you're filming. And people put out videos all the time on their cell phone, and they put videos out there where the camera's shaky, or they don't have the greatest camera, or they ask their students, hey, can you film this for me on your phone, and then you send it to me via WhatsApp. You're just messing up your quality of your Instagram. And
Respect the profession.
yeah, respect the profession.
It's just like the same guys that put an event 2 months before an event.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can tell.
Yeah,
you know, or the dancers that decide to practice.
Moshe?
I'm not talking about any festival beside those shitty festivals, but it's just like those dancers that put a routine 2 months before a show. I mean, unless you've been around for years and you're super experienced and you worked with an experienced partner.
Some of them can do that, Some of them can do that. So.
But I think you're gonna agree with me. The fact that you have a fancy $5,000 camera doesn't make you a good videographer.
100%. And that's something that's also misled. People go, oh, I want to be a videographer. They go buy a camera and they think that they have what it takes.
Same with DJs. Same with dancers and dance shoes. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
But before we take all these amazing questions that we get here, I really want to ask you, what do you think is the difference between a videographer and a videographer for dancing?
Ooh, that's a good question. That's a really good question.
Because I'm struggling in this area, and therefore I work with people like you and with photographers like Ernie that is here that really know dancers and dancing, because I know a lot of great videographers and I know a lot of great photographers, but then when they come and try to capture dancing, something is missing.
It's pretty simple. One of my strengths is the fact that I'm a dancer and a videographer. So the fact that I know lines, I know musicality, I know when somebody's about to do something big, I can see that they're prepping for a trick.
When there is a break in the song.
When there's a break in the song, when I see them prepping and they're about to go up in the air, my job is to make sure that my camera's at the right place at the right time. And sometimes they don't understand that. If somebody's doing footwork, if they're in the shines portion of the song, they're going to be doing footwork. Don't cut off their feet. If they're going to do something where you can see, if you know who the performer is, if I'm filming somebody like Eddie Torres, and he has all these great facial expressions, what am I going to do? I'm going to capture his facial expressions to see what exactly is trying to capture at that moment. How is he feeling? And I want people to see that, and I want people to feel it. Sometimes you watch performances, and that's something that I'm still not crazy about today, is people just film shows, they leave the camera and they just film a wide shot, and you think that that's okay, and it's not okay, because there's something else that the audience is enjoying being there in person for a reason, So try to show that while you're filming the camera. Try to give them that. Why is the audience?
There's no shortcuts.
So there's definitely a big difference between somebody who knows how to film an artist who's singing for a music video, who's just sitting there next to a beautiful car, and somebody that's filming dancers. And sometimes people add certain effects and shaky movements when I'm like, I'm trying to enjoy their lines and their talent, and you're trying to add special effects to the video. Well, I'm getting confused. Do you want me to watch how cool your effects are, or you're trying to get me to understand that their dancing is really spot on, you know? So people just got to learn the difference. But there's definitely a humongous difference. Just like a videographer who captures animals out in the wild is very different from a videographer who captures dancing. It's two different things.
Yep.
So,
Yep. So you get a lot of loves. A lot of people give you shout outs. My favorite couple is from New York. Jennifer is a better dancer. Omaira says that. She's obviously joking. Not really. Where do you guys teach? That's a question from Linda. What do you teach?
So we teach here in New York City every Thursday when we're in town. We are not in town this week, for example, but we teach every Thursday at Pearl Studios. The school that we teach is called Piel Canela Dance School. They're one of the biggest schools here in New York City. Joe and Bianca are the directors of the school. And we teach there every Thursday. We teach ladies. She has a lady styling class. Then we do Jsquared Bachata. And then we do Jsquared Salsa Romantica, all in the same day. And then because we got it all in one schedule, one day. So we're not traveling the train 3 days a week.
Ladies come for 3 hours back to back.
Boom, you get Jsquared all in one day.
And then some students stay for all 3 classes.
Yeah, and then we teach on the weekends wherever we're traveling. So there you go.
Kelvin is asking, when is the next cruise and where we're going to? Thank you for asking. This is a great question.
Yeah.
We're going to Cuba in 120 days from June 6th to the 10th. Yes, June 6th to the 10th, going to Cuba with Torito, live concert, the best dancers from all over the world.
4 days.
We have Celia in the house, Jaime Noviola, we have Grupo Extra, we have Los Adolescentes.
Do you have the themes out already?
What? The themes are out. And just wanted to say we have Los Adolescentes coming also to Cuba. They killed it last year, and Entaya, but not the most important, but equally important.
Yeah.
These dancers like yourself, they're going to be there to teach and perform. And I'm very, very proud and excited about that. I would love to join you guys this year that we're talking about the cruise. You have a lot of kisses. I'm trying to catch up here with all the questions. Did you guys start, Denise is asking, did you guys start dating before or after becoming dance partners?
After.
Simple question.
So you saw Jennifer dancing. Jennifer, you saw that Jonathan got the basics down, and then you're like, okay, there's a chance.
A little bit more than it was just hip movement. His hip movement needed a lot of work, and I'm just like, no, I can't date someone with that lack of hip movement.
But it was definitely a growing process. We probably were about a year into dancing before we decided to go into a relationship, and that was not it was an easy decision, but as it progressed, it was something that took time to realize that that's what we really wanted.
Yeah.
You said, if I'm traveling, let me take
her with me. I'll put her in my carry-on bag, and all is going to be good.
You know, no joke. This is a big part why ADC started. You know, I couldn't take vacations. I owned a dance studio. I had to be there all the time. Wow. And then I'm like, hold on. If I start a cruise and I take all of my students with me, now I can close the studio. I got my work with me, and I go on a cruise, which I never been before the first ADC in 2009. So you kind of did the same thing.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Jesse's asking, what software do you use for video editing?
So I use Final Cut Pro and I use Adobe Premiere. It's important as a video editor to know multiple forms of multiple platforms of editing, because sometimes other clients hire me and they want me to specifically use one of the programs that they like. So I know both Final Cut Pro and Adobe Premiere.
So you don't use one of these apps that you just put a video on and they create your video automatically?
No, and I don't use that. I don't use the apps that come with that comes on your computer, like iMovie, and I don't download them illegally. I pay for them monthly because that's the way it should be.
Yeah. Support, I guess, everybody. What's your Instagram?
Our Instagram, our Facebook, our YouTube channel, everything is Jsquared Bachata. JSQ, just like you see it back there. Jsquared Bachata.
We actually had a hashtag, but we didn't fit.
It didn't fit on the wall. It's hashtag. So it's Jsquared Bachata Instagram. Facebook,
Jennifer had to go to practice.
Yeah. So yeah.
Guys, at the end of this video, I'm going to tag all of their links, IG, Facebook, website. So just look at the comments at the end or the description if you watch it on YouTube. Brian, our boy right there, asks, as an artist, do you enjoy or appreciate, oh, I'm sorry, what do you enjoy or appreciate from a festival and promoters? Huh, I want to hear that.
Oh, wow.
Watch out, I'm here.
Yeah, no, one of
Honest.
the most important things that as for me, Jennifer can say her own thing. I love to see a promoter that's out there and it actually shows that they care about what's happening in their event.
Yeah.
So there's many times where we attend events and you never even see the promoter. They're hiding somewhere. They're out in the back. Not that they're not doing anything. Maybe they're working. Maybe they're doing stuff.
They're counting the cash.
Yeah, whatever it is that they're doing. But it goes a long way to go out there and actually a promoter come up to you and say, hey, is everything okay? Do you need something? And then you're having a conversation with somebody and you're like, well, who are you? It's like, well, I'm the guy who runs the event. It's like, whoa, that's pretty awesome. The fact that you're out here talking to who knows, you don't even know, maybe you don't even know who it is, you know, and that matters. So for me, attention to detail when a promoter is actually out there and doing his part makes a big difference. That's me.
For you, Jennifer?
I mean, for me, it's just feeling appreciated. I know that it's a transaction where I'm giving you a show and you're paying me for the show, but it's like I just had a recent experience where the promoter for an event, I saw her and she asked me who I was, and I was like, well, you hired me to be here. I just felt it was a weird, awkward moment where the promoter didn't know who they hired, right? So are you hiring?
So is it just knowing you and sending you a text, thank you for your great work, or there's something else that you expect that shows appreciation?
Just building a relationship. I think a lot of us like join the dance community or start dancing. Well, it's the common misconception is because guys join because they want to meet girls or you just want to learn how to dance. But the overall goal is to build community. And if you just dance with people and then leave and you don't have a conversation with the folks that you're dancing with or the people or the artists you get to know, like Moshe, I absolutely love the fact that you treat us like we're people and as friends, and we build this relationship where we can all become like one big ADC family. But if you don't get to know the people that you're hiring, there's a disconnect, and it's hard to build a relationship that way, especially when you have these promoters asking for discounts and don't want to pay full prices or want us to go for free, and don't even know our names. It just makes it really hard for us to work with promoters that don't even know who we are. And then two is like as an event promoter, and I've organized my own events, I'm very aware of dietary restrictions, and I understand this is 2019 and we're dealing with Latino cultures or Latino mentalities where veganism, like for me, I'm a vegan dancer. So
you, Mario, a bunch of us.
A bunch. Okay. Moshe, you obviously, you know, and I think ADC was like one of the first events that I actually didn't even have to say anything because the food options are there for anyone with any dietary restrictions that you have. But in other events and other congresses, it's not like that. And then when I communicate that and I ask about like, hey, can I have like a voucher or can I be reimbursed for my meals? It's like I'm seen as the bad person or the complicated person. I don't know. I just think more awareness still needs to be built as an artist within the promoter.
How to take care of your artist.
I think it goes. I agree 100%, and it's so much easier to take care of your artist, quote unquote, if you enjoy what you do and you really like a big fan, right? Yeah. Like for me, when I talk to you guys and all the other artists and DJs and musicians that I work with, we're all like kids here. Like we get excited, like it's Christmas, you know, because we're really enjoying it. But for you, I mean, I agree 100%. I think also as a promoter, and maybe Brian can share his experience, communication. You know, when you send the contract or just confirming an email, the work scope and who's picking you up from the airport, and don't forget my bag is $25, whatever. If you mention something about meals, you know, there is a higher chance because people don't want to, that just doesn't care, they doesn't care. But if you mention it, there is a better chance that they will do something.
No, yeah, of course. Yeah. We've implemented now in our contracts that we state that Jonathan is a dancer, and then Jennifer is a vegan dancer. So like, can we please accommodate to like those dietary restrictions?
And if not, that's okay. Just
that's okay.
give us a little something so we can buy food elsewhere.
Well, not something. I can show receipts of like what I spent on.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. So.
Of cucumber and tomato.
Yeah.
Because that's all we eat,
and avocado.
right?
Yeah,
Here we go. I bought
avocados.
4 cucumbers yesterday.
Avocados. Oh look, I'm gonna show you.
Dude, I love it. Like,
this
people
is the back
asking,
of my phone.
what do you eat? But you cannot eat anything. All right, fine. What's next for Jsquared?
So this weekend we're going to, on Thursday, we're going to Salsa in Hawaii. Yeah. It's our first time attending this event. They have been amazing so far and taking care of us and making sure that we're going to have an amazing experience as we go out there. We're also, Spin Media is also part of that event. We're going to be covering that event. So after Salsa in Hawaii, we're going to stay there. And
I have a funny feeling you're going to come back with some nice dancing footage in Hawaii.
It's very possible. Just because
very possible.
This is actually, we're going to announce it here officially. We're making our next Jsquared video in Hawaii. We haven't made an announcement yet. We haven't told anybody just yet. So for everybody that's watching, we are making our next Jsquared video in Hawaii. We're staying there an extra week. So from Hawaii, we're going to be filming everything there. And then from Hawaii, we're going straight to LA Bachata Festival, which is a very, very, very great event. We love it there. Like we said, they give attention to detail to their dancers, to their artists. So LA Bachata Festival is going to be our second year going. And that's that. And then after that, we're going to Milan.
We're
going to Milan.
We're actually going back to Miami, Moshe. Before that.
Oh yeah, we're going back to Miami for a wedding.
Not our wedding, someone else's wedding.
Not our.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, I wasn't invited. Okay, cool.
So yeah.
All right. A lot of traveling. ADC Cuba coming in June.
Yes, that's right. ADC really Cuba, excited. ADC.
Been in Havana before? All right, we just got disconnected, but I'm not gonna let this episode end like that. We're gonna have Jonathan joining us right now. Yep, just message him. He's gonna join us in just 1 second. I don't know what happened there. I guess the internet just dropped. Maybe he's traveling somewhere, but Jonathan is going to be back in just 1 second. We're really towards the end, but it was a fun conversation. Here's Jonathan again. Let me add you back.
We are back from
Pay your bills. Pay your bills. What's going on? So you were just about to say the most important part and help me to spread the word about ADC Cuba. So no, on a serious note, you went to the port where the ship is going to dock for ADC Cuba, and it was really good. Why?
Okay, so as soon as you get off the ship, the first thing you're going to see is a ton of things that you can buy. It's a huge market that you can just look at everybody joining again. Welcome back, everybody. We're back. I don't know what happened, but we're back. So
Jonathan didn't pay his phone though.
It's our Wi-Fi, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, you practice, you shoot, you edit videos. I mean, you miss payments.
So as soon as you get off, there's a ton of things you can buy. I suggest that you wait until the end. Don't go there just yet. You can get trapped because there's so many cool things you could buy, so many cool people. So, and everybody's so nice. Number two, as soon as you get out of the port, the main area, like the Catedral, Capital, Capitolio, all of that is a must-see. As you go through Old Havana, there's a lot of really good restaurants. Try to just stick to, when you go eat, try to stick to the local spots. Because there's going to be a lot of things that you find on Yelp or whatever the case may be. Literally, it's okay to ask people. In the beginning,
don't go to Burger King. That's what you're saying.
There's no Burger King.
There's no Burger King, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's really good.
Yet.
So as soon as you go, what was hard for us to understand is that people are nice, and that's just the way they are.
They're not trying to get
They're not
anything
trying
from
to
you.
get money from you. They just want to know who you
They're
are,
not asking for anything.
where you come from, why are you visiting their country. They're just curious. So at the beginning, I was like, they just want money. They just want money, because that's what we're used to in New York.
Like,
Everybody
people
just
begging
wants
for
money. They
and-
just want to beg us for
Yeah.
money. But these people are just like, are you lost? Are you looking for somewhere to eat? I'm like, yeah. They're like, all right, come, I'll take you to the best spot. It's my
Yeah.
favorite. And they take you to the best spot, and then they just say bye. And I'm like, oh my
They're not
God,
asking for
they didn't want anything. They just wanted to have a conversation, and it happened over and over.
Yeah.
So whoever it is that you run into, locals, be nice. They
Yeah.
are nice people.
Yeah.
I didn't have one bad experience from anybody out there. So that's like one thing that we definitely took away from Cuba, is just the people are so great out there.
Did you waited for this live feed to share with me these exciting news? I mean, you got back from Cuba a long time ago, and this is such an important update for me. This is just great. I'm very excited.
Yeah,
and
it's a beautiful, beautiful country with beautiful people. And
one must is El Malecón.
the Malecón.
It's the strip where it's just a boardwalk and you're just overlooking the ocean, and it kind of sinks in the fact that no one's on their phone, well, except if you're at the Wi-Fi part, but no one's on their phone, like just being antisocial, just remembering this whole connection and just truly hanging out with one another and like just talking with no distractions. That was really, really good. And the drinking, but I mean,
we don't drink, but but I'm sure a lot of people. We drank mojitos. The mojitos were good there. I don't even drink, and they were good.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, really thank you. This one was a good one. We talked relationship, we talked, running 2 careers and dancing and videography, and now Cuba. Looking forward to see you in June, maybe before, because you come to Miami
We'll be in Miami
Yeah.
several times. I want to make sure we didn't miss any questions. Last questions, now's your chance. And if not, you can always write us private messages. You already know how that is.
Instagram.
If you ever come to New York City, we already know we offer our classes just for free. Just come to New York City if you're from out of town, and you can take our class one time, no problem, and we are good with that,
Yes, if you wanna, you cannot miss these guys' classes. And thanks again.
Thank you. Moshe.
Continue to succeed.
We really appreciate you.
I'm
your
looking
family.
forward. Thank you so much. Looking forward to see you on and off the stage. And good luck. I'll see you soon, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Moshe. ADC, we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Bye.